Okay, let's have a look at the World Championships box. Jacob van Wagner did really well this year at the World Championships, winning the whole thing. And the reason why I'd like to have a look at this box and share my thoughts on it is because this is one of the top contenders for the up-and-coming City Championships, which are going to be in the new expanded format. And I hope by making this brief video, it's going to help a couple of players out there maybe think about going for this, testing it out, and maybe trying out for the new tournaments of 2016. So let's, without further delay, open the box. A great thing about this box actually is that it's got the listing on the back, so I'll be able to look at that. And the star of the story really is Keldeo. Now, a lot of people actually, when they start off looking at this deck, they actually think, you know, why Keldeo? Well, it's awesome rushing ability, but the fact of the matter is that it's got an attack which just doesn't have a cap at all. So it's rushing. Once you're on your turn for your attack, if this Pokemon's on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So that's pretty awesome. A lot of people may start to think, well, actually, you know, you could just disrupt it with Hex Maniac, but to be quite honest, it's only a temporary measure, I think. Secret Sword, triple colourless energy, cost, it's 50 plus 20 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon, so obviously the more water Pokemon, Pokemon energy that you have on there, the more damage that it does. Now obviously, unfortunately you can't play this deck straight out of the box in the tournament. It's got the backing on there and the silver edges, so you'll be found out pretty quickly in the tournament. But you know, sometimes it's definitely worth buying the deck, just trying it out and seeing whether it's actually something that suits your playstyle. So very quickly, we've got the N, we've got 4 Ultra Balls, 4 VS Seekers, you've got 2 Rough Seas, 2 Blastoise, just the stage 2. Obviously, you'll need to be able to combine that with Archie. Lysandre, you've got 4 Trainers Mail, 4 Superior Energy Removal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Water Energy there. You've got the Keldeo, and you've got the Articuno as well, which it's very useful, particularly in a night march environment where you can actually turn each of the 30 or 60 HP Pokemon that you can knock out into a virtual EX, so you can draw 2 prizes. Okay, so let's have a look at the card box here, and you've got Computer Search, which is quite a difficult card to get at this moment in time, probably one of the hardest cards to get out of this set, aside from the Shaymins. You've got 4 Acro Bike, you've got a Wailord-EX, and a lot of people actually start to sub this out for alternatives like Kyurem EX. That's another idea I've seen is substituting some of the water energies for lightning energies and then running Black Kyurem EX. So you get a nice solid whack of damage there. 2 Jirachi, I actually find that it's probably easier to get the 1 Jirachi than the second Jirachi at the moment. This is quite a hot card, so you know, if you do have one, hang on to it, and people are prepared to trade quite heavily for them, as they are the Shaymins as well. It is a deck that does require the Shaymins. You got 2 Exeggcute, they're quite cute. You've got the propagation ability there. You've got Float Stone. The Mewtwo quite nicely has been reprinted in the Darkrai Mewtwo Arena deck. You've got the Star of the Story, which is Archie's Ace in the Hole. You've got 2 Juniper. Obviously, you can sub those for Sycamore if you don't have the Juniper at the moment. Keldeo, very difficult to actually get these Keldeo at this moment in time. But there are still quite a few on auction websites, so try and grab those, definitely. You've got your 4 Battle Compressor, and you've got your Muscle Band. Just keep the code there. Unfortunately, the code doesn't unlock the deck in the PTCGO. It just unlocks the sleeves, and I think a really, really cool coin. But if that's your thing, then that's fine. So, all right, let's think about a few alternatives. A couple of ones that I've seen definitely floating around at this stage is Tropical Beach. So some people would actually start to question that and think, well, why play the Tropical Beach when you've got a speed deck? But I think the answer to that one is that if you just draw into very, very little, if anything, you can actually then just reset your turn. You can play the Tropical Beach, activate that, and then draw into a new hand. Also, it's great against N as well. It's just one of those things where it's just an out where you might not have an out at all. So Tropical Beach is definitely one card to consider, an expensive consideration, but at the same time what you need to do is you need to maybe have a look around and see whether you can borrow those. I don't think it's really worth investing in a Tropical Beach if it's the first tournament that you want to try and enter and do well in. So it's just an alternative. Another alternative that I've seen being put into play is unknowns. Now, unknowns are quite an interesting one because what they'll do is they'll empty out your hand. They'll reduce it down to closer and closer to the magical number of perhaps one BS Seeker or just the single Archie that you could have in your deck. That's obviously the ideal situation that you need to try and target, because in order to get these Blastoise out, what you need to do is you need to get the Archie up and running. If you haven't, or if you've got maybe something else that's just sticking in your hand, you just can't pull that combo off. So it's just another turn. This is really, really a rush deck. I think anticipating what actually happened at the World Championships, round upon round, it was just basically, let's run through the deck as quickly as possible, get those Blastoise up and running, get Deluge happening as fast as possible, and then you've got a whole array of attackers. You've got the Articuno. I think Wailord is a really, really interesting choice. Just putting it out there as a big wall, and I think Wailord is a reluctant choice now because of its grass weakness. So you've got a double grass weakness there, and obviously you've got Vesquin now, pretty rampant in the format from Ancient Origins, and or what it's just doing is just maybe it's even got enough damage to knock out the Wailord and take two very, very easy prizes. So that's definitely one to maybe consider. I've seen people play two Articuno, just to stabilize it. So yeah, there's the deck. Really, really nice deck to just try out in the format, and then just start to put your own changes to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it out there, and if you want to comment on any possible changes that could be put in there, really, really appreciate that. And also anything that comes about, I'll put in the next video. So there's the deck. That's the Q pin that comes with it, and thanks for watching.